light to light the candles. I know that Gabi just made them. I heard it as I was coming back from the bathroom, and I heard her lighting them, and that was about 20 minutes ago.
We're the furthest west on the time zone, though.
The furthest west on the time zone in
Okay.
this country?
No, no, no. In the Eastern Standard Time, we're further west than you are.
Oh, where does it change?
No, I'm
Ohio. I
saying
think we're after Ohio. I don't know. Mid-Atlantic. It's
no, but
Mid-Atlantic.
I mean,
A minion to do the Amidah out loud, but we have a minion for the mourner's cottage, so that's good. Okay, we're right, just mourner's cottage, right. Okay, well it is 6 o'clock, so we will get started. Thank all of those of you out there online, wherever you may be, joining us on this beautiful Friday here in Atlanta. As you know, the rabbi is not here today. He was taken on a surprise trip by his family. I've known for some time where that surprise takes him, but just in case he's watching, he's not there yet, which would surprise me. I'm not going to say where he is. I'll let you. He'll tell you when he gets back. However, it is the first Shabbat since the time change where we actually have time to light the candles, but we only have a couple minutes. So June's going to come into it right now. No pressure. You have about 2 minutes to get the candles lit.
Jordan, can you hear me? Jordan? No. Okay.
30 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, goodness. Denied by the defective matchbox. There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'hitzvanu l'chadlut ner shelsha.
Amen. Thank you, June. It's not lost on me that, for instance, I assume Neil Yarma is online, and of course, where he is, it's already too late to light the candles, but he's here with us and we lit them. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Glad to have the candles aglow for us. And I'm glad that the sun's staying out later. It's kind of nice. So with that, we are also in our first week of doing a full mincha service. So we're going to turn to page 1, as we usually do, begin with the Ashrei, but then we're going to run through mincha before we get to Mariv and Kabbalat Shabbat and Mariv. Page 1, Ashrei. Ashrei Yoshvei Ve'techa Od Yaluchas Salah Ashrei Am Shekacha Lo Ashrei Am Shonai Lohav Bilal Rabbi. Tehilat Adonai, Rabbi Pivi Barek, Kobasar Shem Kodshel Elam Moed, Vanach Nevarach Yach, Me'atav Yarolam Hallelujah. We now rise in body and spirit for the Mincha Amidah. We'll begin together on page 3. We will skip the Kedusha, page 4, and we'll continue silently pages 5 through 9. But for now, please rise. Page 3b, the Amidah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah El Hagadol HaGibor V'Nora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Mevi Goel Livnei V'Neihem L'man Shmo B'Yahava Melech Ozer Forkedu Moshe Magein Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham Ufoket Sarab, Atagi Borel Hamadonai, Mechaye Metim Atarav Loshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Marid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayim Eitim Rachamim Rabim, Somek Noflim Rofei, Cholim Matir Asurim, Mechayim Emunatol Shinei Afar, Michamocha Ba'ibrat, Mitamelach, Melach Meminim Chayam Atmiach, Yeshua, V'ne'eman Natalach Hayom Mitim, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayim Mitim, Atakadoshim Kakadosh, Ukdoshim Choyom Yalucha Salah, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. If you are still reciting the Amidah, please continue at your own pace. Please remain standing for Aleinu, page 11. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakola latet yidula liotzer breshit shelo asanu kigoyei aratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chalkenu kahem v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam v'anachnu korim v'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malachei amlachim Akadosh Baruch Hu Shashamayim Yisrael Moshe. Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai yimloch lila amoed v'ne'emor b'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom ahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Those who are in mourning or observing yard site during the Mincha service, please remain standing for Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, page 12. Yit Gadal, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'yalmad Yivara Kirute, V'yamlich Malchute, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, V'agalav Izman Kariv, V'imru Amen, Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, V'salam Olamei Omaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei kudasha rechu le'ela minko birchata v'shirata tushbekata v'nechemata tamiran mi'olma v'imru amen yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom b'mromav Huya aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. That concludes our mincha service. We're going to head into a Kabbalat Shabbat, probably at about the most perfect time, actually, considering when the sunset is of all the weeks we do it in the year. If it was like Saturday night, we would move Kabbalat Shabbat every week, and there'd be weeks where we'd be coming here at 8:30 at night, and you'd be going home for dinner at 11, I guess, or something like that. People would not be excited about that, and so the hundreds of people in the room right now are telling me they would not approve of that. And so, with that in mind, though, we will continue with Kabbalat Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, page 13. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amalachim, Makadosh, Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amalachim, Makadosh, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amalachim, Makadosh, Baruch Hu. Zeitechem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amalachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. We continue on page 15. Lechu neranen ala Adonai, Nari aletzor yishenu, Nekad mapana bitodah, Bizmirot nari alo, Nekad mapana bitodah, Bizmirot nari alo. Arba'im shana kupetor v'homar am to'e levavhechim v'hechim lo yadun rachai asher nishpati b'api im yon al menuchati. Shirul Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shirul Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shirul Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Pasru Miyom Leyom Yeshuato, Sapru Vagoyim, Kevodo, Bechol Ha'amim Nifleotav, Ki Gadol Adonai, Umehulal me'od, no rahu, al kol Elohim, ay, ki kol Elohei, ha'amim elilim, vadonai, shamayim ha'asab, od v'hadar, lefanav, oz v'tiferet, במקדשו, עבור אדוני משפחות העמים, עבור אדוני כבוד בעוז, עבור אדוני כבוד שמו, שאו מנחה ובואו לחצרותיו, איי איי איי, השתחוו לאדוני בהר הקודש, חילו מפניו כל הארץ, אמרו בגויים, אדוני מלך, עתיקון תבל, ואל תימות, ידין עמים במישרים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו, יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו, איי איי איי, אז ירננו כל עצי ההר לפני אדוני, כי בא לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, בימים באמונתו, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 יא לה 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 לה, יא לה לה יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא 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 יא. Page 17. Adonai malach tagela aretz, yismechu yim rabim. Urzaru ala tzadik, Uyishlev simcha, simchu tzadikim baranai, Yoduhu lezecher kodsho. Shir l'Adonai shir chadash, kiniflot nasach, shir l'Adonai minot roa kodsho. Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel betzedek, v'yamim b'meisharim. Page 19. Adonai malach yirgezu amim yoshev krim tanura haaretz, and Yerushim Chanovinoran Karashu Navishmaran. Robin Malach Love Karashu Mashaver Ramachana with Mum Karashma. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu l'har kadesho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu l'har kadesho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Please rise for Psalm 29, page 20 of the book. Mizmor le David, Abul Adonai b'nei Elim, Abul Adonai kavod ba'oz, Abul Adonai kivod shemo, Ishtakabul Adonai b'hadrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod nehirim, Adonai al Ma'im Rabim. Kol Adonai Ba'koach. Kol Adonai Behadar. Kol Adonai Shover Arazim. Vayishaber Adonai et Arzei Halbanom. Vayarkideim kemoegel. Lebanon vesir yom kemoven remim kol Adonai chotzei lavotesh kol Adonai yachil midabar yachil Adonai mibar kadesh kol Adonai yechol elayalot Vayachasop yeharot uveichalo kulo omer kabod Adonai lamabuli ashav vayeshev Adonai melech leolam Adonai os liamoitim Adonai Yivarech et Amo Shalom. You may be seated. We're now going to wind our way through to the Shabbat Bride at the end of this song, Lechad D, page 21 and 22. Lechad D likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lechad Odi ligarat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad V'shemo echad L'shemo tiferet v'litehila Lechad Odi Nikrat kalab P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lechad Odi Nikrat kalab P'nei Shabbat nekabela Nikrat Shabbat Lechu v'nelechab Ki mekor haberacha Merosh mikerem nesuchab Sof ma'aseh b'machashava techila Lechad Odi likrat kalab P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lechad Odi likrat kalab P'nei Shabbat nekabela Mikdash melech ir melucha Kumitzei mitoch hafecha Rav lach shevet b'yimekabacha Vehu yachamol alayechem lab Lechad Odi likrat kalab P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lechad Odi likrat kalab P'nei Shabbat nekabela Hibna arime afar kumim Aliv shibi deti fartechami Aliyad ben Yishai Beit alachmi Korva el na'afshige Allah Lechad Odi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lechad Odi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Hitoreri Kiva orech kumi ori Uri Shir daberi Kivod Adonai alayich niglab Lechad Odi likrat kala yalalai P'nei Shabbat nekabela ay Lechad Odi likrat kala yalalai P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lo tevoshi velo tikalami Ma tishtochachi u'ma atahemi Bach yechesu ani ami V'nibne ta'ir atilach Lechadori likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela yalalai yalalai lechadori likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela hayelim shisa shoasayich v'rachaku kol meval ayich yasis alayich Elohayich Imzos katana al kalab lekadori likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela ay lekadori likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela yamin ismo tiferotzi v'et Adonai ta'aritzi Aleyadish ben apartzi benis mecha v'nagila alechadori likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela yalalai yalalai lechadori likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela Oi v'shalom ateret halach Gam besimcha u'b'tzola toch emunei am segula boi chala lekadori likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabelai lekadori likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. You may be seated. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to pick it up on page 23, Mizmor Shir. Mizmor Shir Le'yom HaShabbat Tov L'Odo L'Adonai U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon Le'agid Baboker Chastecha Ve'emunatecha Balelot Alei Asor Balei Navel Alei Higayon Bechinor Mizmor Shir Le'yom HaShabbat Tov Le'odo L'Adonai U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon Tadikatamar Yiferach Tieres Alevanon Yiskem Shetulim Beveit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Ya'avarichu Ad Yenuvon B'Seivam Deshenim B'Rananim Yigiyu Lehagid Ki Yashar Adonai Zuri Beloam Latabo Amai Malaku Lavei Salvation Adonai Ositazar Tikun Batimon Mihi kolot mayim, mayim rapim adirim, mishperechiyam, adir bamarom, Adonai, eitotecha, ne'emenu milhod, Leveit Chanav HaKodesh Adonai Liorech Yamin. Those in mourning are observing a yard site for Mariv, please rise for Kaddish Shem Mourners Kaddish, enabling your microphones online if you care to do so. Page 24 at the bottom of the page. Yit Gadal, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabab, Bialmad, Yivarak Yerute, Biamlich Malchute, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chaye, the whole Beit Yisrael, Bagalav, Izman, Kariv, Imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Elam Olamei Amaya, Yiparach, V'yishtabach, V'yipar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitalev, V'yitalal, Shemei Kudusha, Brechu, Elam Inko, Birchata, V'shirata, Tush B'chata, V'nechemata, Tamiran Biolma, V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. And that concludes our Kabbalat Shabbat service. Just a few quick words before we go on to Mariv. So I have a client who's in the jewelry business, and they are Muslim. And I'll be honest, they told me what sect of Muslim they are, but I don't remember. Much like Judaism has different branches, Christianity has different branches, so too Muslim has different branches. And one thing that I did not know, well, they were very hard to reach this week, my client, and there was a reason for that. Their leader died. So I don't remember hearing anything about it. I don't know if you all heard anything about it, but they were shocked by the sudden death of their 88-year-old leader, who had been their leader for 67 years. You say hello, Queen Elizabeth, right? I mean, that's a long time. So at that point, you almost begin to think the person's immortal, I suppose. But alas, he reached a fairly old age and he passed away. And they did something that's not that different than Shiva, really. They kind of, in the jewelry business, this was not a great week to take off, being Valentine's Day and all, right? So they managed best they could, but they kind of took it easy for 7 days and did a lot of mourning, much like we do with folks in our tradition. Somebody that's probably slightly more famous than their leader, a guy named the Pope, also took ill this week. I guess he's okay. He's 88, I believe, and he's been hospitalized. And of course, the Catholic world, stands on pins and needles and wishes him the best, as well as the rest of the world. So we have these religious leaders who they are, for lack of a better way to put it, kind of the conduit to God, right? They are that the leader, the person that's kind of, in theory, supposed to be closer, if you will. But if they're human, they suffer the same fate as all humans. And look, we all know the process for the Pope. They have this thing where they call by his first name, and if he doesn't answer after 3 times, I think the white smoke goes out and pronounces him dead. And then there's this vote, and they burn the papers, and it's a big deal. And they name the new Pope, and then there'll be another one, and then there's another one, and that's how that goes. Judaism's a little different, right? I mean, we had a rabbi here for 55 years at this synagogue, but at some point they hired somebody else. He retired, and eventually he passed away, and that's the way of human beings. But this week's Torah portion is Yitro, and I think you all know how many commandments do we have total? 613. Not all of them are in this Torah portion. Not all of them can be done without a temple. You can't do a bunch of them anyway. But the big 10, if you will, right? The ones that everybody, Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 commandments, the 2 tablets, the 5, right, on each side. That's this week. We rise as we read it during the Torah portion. Of course, let's talk about what the 10 commandments are, particularly the first 2. The first one's really not a commandment at all. It just says, I'm the Lord your God. It's really nothing more than a statement. It's an important statement, but it's a statement. And the second one is kind of the commandment that comes along with that. You will have no other gods before me. Now, I guess we could ask why the words before me are even there. Shouldn't it just say you shall have no other gods? Maybe that would have been a more concise way of saying it. You shall have no other gods, period. But it says before me, and I'm not here to really talk much about that, but we are a monotheistic tradition. We believe in one God. And but we certainly have people that we've held up high. What happens in the Torah when Aaron dies, or Miriam dies, or Joseph dies, or Moses dies? A great deal of mourning and ceremony accompanies that. But at the end of the day, we remember, and much like God said to Moses, we're going to let a new generation take us into the land of Israel. A new generation comes along, and so that's the way it is. And so what I hope you will take from this week's Torah portion, because the Torah also says that we are made in the image of God and we're just a little lower than the angels. So, we have God-like qualities, but we are not God. And even the best leaders hopefully set a good, as we say in Hebrew, dugma, a good example for us to follow. But we all return to dust, and God is forever. But we make the best of it in the life when we can. And if we can take a leadership role and be that conduit and help other people connect with God, all the better. So that's my thought for you today. Shabbat shalom. And now June will lead us in the Mari service beginning on page 28, in the middle of the page.
El Chai, v'kayom tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam v'hed, Baruch atah Adonai, Amahariv Aravim. Page 29, Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amhavatah, Torah u'mitzvot, ukimu mishpatim, otanu limadetah. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shobeinu hukumeinu, nasiya behukecha. V'nisma b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam v'hed. Kihem hayenu ve'yorach yameinu ve'yorach yameinu. Uvahem nege yomam v'layla yomam v'layla. V'yavacha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisroel. Page 30, the Shema. Shema Yisroel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'chayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'veitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uvshobecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'chayu l'totafot b'neinecha uktavtam ha'acham al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Adonai Elohim Emet. Page 32. Umalhuto v'ratzon kiblu aleihem Moshe v'nei Yisroel lechahanu shira v'simcha rabba v'chamru kulam Mi kamocha b'helim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, o sefer Malhutecha, Rahu vanecha, Bokei ayam lifnei Moshe, Zeheli anu v'amru, Adonai himlo ve'olam v'hed, V'nehemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, Ugalo miyad hazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Go'al Yisroel. Please join with me on page 33 for the Hashkivenu in English. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and waken us again, our sovereign to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Bros aleinu sukat shalomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Aporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'akol amo Yisroel, ve'al Yerushalayim. Please stand for Bishamru on page 34. Bishamru b'nei Yisroel, Echad Shabbat, La'asot et Shabbat, V'dorotam be'rit olam, ay, 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 Beini u'lein b'nei Yisroel, od Ilei olam, Isheshet yamin, Asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, uvayom hashvi'i, Shabbat vayinachash. Please prepare to pray the Amida, which begins on 35A or 35B and continues to page 38 silently. If you have concluded your Amida, please join with me at the bottom of page 38 for Oseh Shalom. Oh, say shalom bimromav. Uya say shalom aleinu. Ve'akol Yisrael. Ve'imru, imru, amen. Yahase shalom, Yahase shalom. Shalom aleinu. Ve'akol Yisrael. Yahase shalom, Yahase shalom. Shalom aleinu b'yakol Yisrael. Yahase shalom, Yahase shalom. Shalom aleinu b'yakol Yisrael. Yahase shalom, Yahase shalom. Shalom aleinu b'yakol Yisrael. V'himeru, amen. Continue to stand for Vayikulu, which begins on page 47. Vayikulu hashamayim ve'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayikal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melato asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melato asher asa vayivarech Elohim bayom hashvi'i vayikadesh oto Hivo Shabbat Mikol Melato Asher Barak Elohim Lasod. And on page 48, Eloheinu. Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Ritzei, Bimnuchatenu, Kadeshenu, B'mitzvotecha, B'tein Helkenu, B'toratecha, Sabenu, Mituvecha, B'sampenu, B'shuatecha, B'taher Libenu, Le'hovdecha, B'hemet, V'chan hileinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'apahu ratzon, Shabbat kodecha, Ve'anuhu v'Yisrael, Mekadeshei shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. On page 49, please join me for the Kiddush without the saran wrap. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho ve'avahu v'ratzon inhilanu, zikaron l'ma'aseh b'reishit. Kihu yom tehila l'mikraye kodesh, zeher l'tzihat mitzrayim. Ivanu Baharta Beotanu Ijashta Mikol Hamim Veshabat Kochecha Be'ava Uvratzon Inhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Please remain standing for Aleinu on page 51. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, lated gedula l'ritzei bereshit, shelo asanu kukuyei haratzot, velo hosamanu kimitzvot hadama, shelo sam elkeinu kalhem, vegor aleinu kilchol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtahavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malhei Hamlahim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Tonight begins the 17th day of the month of Shevat. And on this day, we note the art sites of Gerald Alvin Blonder, uncle to Jeannie Friedman, Clara Miles Cohn, loved one to Rena Wolf, Harry Herschel Hurwitz, brother-in-law to Jill Saul, Frank Cramerow, father to Ruth Cramerow, Ellis Lewitt, grandfather to Norman Andrews, Lil Rothberg, mother to Ann Bunny Rosenberg, Martin Smith, father to Debbie Smith, and Reuven Ben Abraham, the father of Michelle Rickles. In addition, we note the passing within the last year, those who are still mourning for their loved ones that come to Minion morning and evening regularly. Marvin Bernstein, Linda Schaefer, Milton Butch Frank, Philip Sunshine, Elsie Oppenheimer Krause, Marty Reish, Captain Tom Anston, Alan Stein, Paul Hovitz, Martin Edelman, Janice Salzman, Florence Gussman, Susan Yudovin, Jay Hammer, Linda Brzozowski, Glenn Evans, Lucy Carson, Arlene Wildstein, Patricia Cohen, Dr. Edward Jones Smith, Robin Mizell, Lou Schloss, Philip Kaplan, Brandon Reisman, victims of the Israeli war, Shirley Miller, Stuart Galashoff, Edna Helfer, and Susan Caller. Have I omitted any names? In the memory of those who I just named and any other loved ones you may have that you're observing their loss at this time, please rise and join us, if you will, in the Mourner's Kaddish, page 52. Yit Gadal, Yit Gadash, Shemei Rabab, Yalmad, Yivarak Kirute, Vyamlich Malchute, V'chayechon, Vyomechon, V'chaye, the whole Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Uvizman Kariz, Imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach, Le'alam, Olamei, Almaya, Yiparach, V'yishtabach, V'yipa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitalev, V'yitalal, Shemei Kurusha, Brechu, Ela Minko, Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbachata, V'nechemata, Damiran Ba'oma, V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'yalko Yisrael V'imru Amen. V'seh Shalom B'imramav, V'yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'yalko Yisrael V'imru Amen. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. First, I want to thank everybody who's been involved in the service today. Damone in the back there, thank you for all of your hard work. And of course, June, and it kind of occurred to me when she told everybody to stand, I'm like, well, she's doing it too this time. You know, it's the last few weeks she hasn't been able to do that. So it's good to see her back and up on her feet. And of course, she'll be on payroll soon if she keeps leading much more often. So good for her. Yasha Koach, June. Thank you. Not much in the way of announcements tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier. It will be another rabbi-less Shabbat. We're going to try and get those out of the way because we actually like having rabbis here, but there won't be any tomorrow. As I said, Rabbi Rosenthal is on a trip. Rabbi Rothbaum has to be elsewhere in town, so they will not be here. And the sermon, you know, we're used to getting one sermon a year, if you will, from the president of our synagogue, and that's what the Kol Nidre appeal, right, or whatever, the Yom Kippur appeal, whatever they call it now. But no, we're actually going to have a sermon by our very own president, Mark Stern, tomorrow. Will be giving, if you want to call him the guest speaker, if you will, I think into the topic, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. Next Saturday, we're going to celebrate together with Rick and Lori Harbor the bat mitzvah of their daughter Sophia. That'll be a week from tomorrow. Saturday morning, February 22nd. Some of you may recall January 10th of this year. I know you're thinking, oh yeah, that's the day it snowed and there was ice. So the Mishorim were supposed to lead that night with Andy and Mindy, and we all practiced and we got ready, and then it snowed. So we didn't have it that night. Nobody came to the building. So watch your weather closely for February 28th, folks. Hopefully it'll be much kinder than it was on January 10th. And the second time will be a charm, and Andy and Mindy will lead with the Mishorim then. But if you want to see the Mishorim even sooner than that, you can come back as soon as tomorrow morning at 9:30, when we'll have Eric Miller leading the beginning, Julia Cohn in the middle, I'll lead the end, and the Mishorim will be helping out. So I look forward to seeing you if you can make it 9:30 tomorrow. I don't know what time the announcements say Mincha and Mariv are tomorrow, but I'm going to say they start at 5:15. So it is written, so it is done. They'll start at 5:15 tomorrow here in the building or virtually. That's all I've got. So with that in mind, I'm going to allow June to finish up our service with the Igdal, page 53.
Yigdal Elohim Hai V'Hi Shabbat Nimsa V'Hein Het El Miziuto Echad V'Yein Yahid Yehudo Melan V'Ganem Tov Le'aduto Ein Lo Demut HaGuf V'Hein O Guf Lo Nacharo Elav Kedush Shachato Kadmon L'Hol Davar Asher Nivra Rishon V'Hein Reshit L'Reshito Hino Adon Olam V'Hol Notzar Yorei Gedulato Umal Huto Shefanu Ato Netano Elah and Chese Gulato V'Tiv Harto Lokam V'Yisroel Kemo Shehod Navi Humahabit Etumunato Torah Temet Natan Le'ahamohel Al Yad Nevi Ho Neman Beito Lo Yachalif Chahel Velo Yamir Dato Leolamim Zulato So Fabio Dea Zetarenu Mabit Lasof Devar Bekat Mato Gold Mail Lish Hesed Kemi Falo Notain the Rasha Ra Perishato Yisladike Chami Meshichenu Livdo Machake Shu Ato Metim Yachayel Vero Hasto Baruch Adehad Shem Tehilato Metim Yachayel Vero Hasto Baruch Adehad Shem Tehilato. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.